When Mandalay Bay opened its doors in 1999, it was a statement, a gleaming resort on the south end of the Strip, tropical theme, massive conference space, luxury rooms. This was the future of Las Vegas hospitality. The cost, roughly $950 million to build. Fast forward to today, roughly $1.6 billion has been poured into renovations, expansions, new restaurants, upgraded rooms, the works. And yet the guests are not coming back like they once did. Behind the marble floors and high-end finishes, something is quietly wrong, and it is telling a broader story about how Vegas is changing. Part of the problem is macro tourism headwinds. Las Vegas as a whole is in a slump. Hotel occupancy is falling. Visitor numbers are down 8 to 10% year over year in recent quarters. Gaming revenue along the Strip dropped 5.5% in September, marking the first monthly decline in years. When the entire ecosystem around you is weakening, a single resort, even one as large as Mandalay Bay, feels the ripple effects. But Mandalay Bay's problems run deeper than just volume. They reach into pricing, reputation, guest experience, and history. Let us talk pricing. Guests who once felt the value of staying at Mandalay Bay now feel they are paying top dollar for less value. One recurring complaint across the Strip, and especially at Mandalay, centers around resort fees, parking charges, dining markups. For example, locals recently reported being charged $40 to $50 just to park after attending a game at Mandalay Bay's arena. When guests check in expecting Vegas luxury but feel gouged even before stepping on the casino floor, the loyalty vanishes. The CEO of the parent company admitted that viral prices created a negative image for Las Vegas this summer. That price shock is especially damaging for repeat guests or value-conscious travelers who used to come back year after year. Then there is reputation. Mandalay Bay bears baggage few resorts have fully overcome. The horrific 2017 mass shooting that occurred from a room at the property still looms in public memory. It may have recovered enough to operate normally, but when you are chasing vacation fantasy, darker associations matter. Guests considering a stay somewhere else may quietly pick safe over iconic when the difference in cost or comfort is negligible. Add to that stories of guest service failures, such as a highly publicized incident where a guest claimed Mandalay Bay housekeeping used his toothbrush to clean surfaces, a viral TikTok post seen by over 133,000 viewers. These anecdotes contribute to a perception shift. Mandalay Bay may have lost some of its shine. Experience also matters. Guests now want connectivity, experiences, social media moments, not just big rooms. Mandalay's efforts to reinvent itself, new F&B, new nightclubs are real, but so is the competition. Downtown alternatives, smaller boutique resorts, and lower-cost drive and getaway options are gaining traction. When you can get a fun Vegas weekend for less elsewhere, why pay premium at Mandalay if you're not getting premium value? The value equation has changed. Another factor is the convention business. Mandalay Bay long depended on convention traffic, large group bookings, and weekday business stays. But across Las Vegas, convention attendance is challenged by travel budget squeezes, remote work, and cancellations. Brokers and analysts say many attendees are staying fewer nights, spending less. In a resort where meeting space and group business are foundational, that weakness bleeds into the entire property. The $1.6 billion figure is not just build cost, it includes recent renovations aiming to reposition the resort as ultra-luxury, competitive with high-end properties. But investment only makes sense if occupancy, spend per guest, and repeat visitation improve. When prices are high and service is slipping, as guests suggest, the return on investment starts to look shaky. Mandalay has begun cutting back on traditional services, including concierge desks at its properties. For example, the parent operator announced the elimination of concierge desks at Mandalay Bay, among other resorts. That is a signal of cost-cutting under revenue pressure, and guests notice when the luxury label gets pared down. One of the more telling lenses is guest sentiment. Locals and frequent visitors say they used to book Mandalay Bay because it offered upscale, accessible luxury. Now they see long waits, less personalized service, fewer complimentary perks, large crowds, and higher prices. Some even avoid the resort in favor of newer properties. On forums, you will find lines like, "Used to stay here because it felt special. Now it is just another expensive resort." The shift in perception from a destination you look forward to a place you settle for is a red flag in hospitality. Of course, Mandalay Bay is not dead. It still commands one of the largest room counts on the Strip. It still hosts major events, concerts, sports, including the home arena for the Aces. But the question is, will it sustain the business model it was built on, or will it gradually decline into lower-tier occupancy, cutting amenities, and reduced guest spend? The signs point toward the latter unless something changes. What needs changing? First, lowering barriers for returning guests. If the resort positioned itself as premium, it must deliver premium service and value. That means room rates and fees that justify the experience, not surprise charges. Second, reinvesting in guest experience, not just physical renovations, but human touch, service, ease, and trust. Third, adapting to the new tourism ecosystem where value matters, experiences matter more than luxury labels, and where repeat guests matter more than one-time high spenders. Finally, transparent communication about safety, value, and how Mandalay Bay is evolving, not just building bigger, but building smarter. In the end, Mandalay Bay's $1.6 billion investment is not just a number, it is a bet on a future of Las Vegas tourism that is shifting beneath its feet. If guests are not returning, if repeat business declines, if perception lags reality, then that investment may start to look like a sunk cost, not an asset. For this resort to thrive, perfection will not suffice, relevance will, and if Mandalay Bay cannot regain the relevance it once had, it may find itself among the many icons of Vegas that peaked and were left behind. Beyond just numbers and reputations, there is the element of timing and competition. Mandalay Bay's heavy investment, bringing the total to around $1.6 billion for renovations, expansions, and repositioning, is occurring at a moment when the Las Vegas market is crowded and undergoing structural change. The South Strip is no longer the undisputed premium corridor it once was. Resorts such as Wynn, Encore, and the newly opened Fontainebleau are aggressively courting high-tickets guests, while downtown and drive-in destinations are energizing with value luxury options. In this environment, Mandalay Bay is not simply fighting to maintain its share, it is fighting to redefine its brand while competitors take aim. When the entire market is shifting under your feet, the cost of not keeping up is steeper than the cost of upgrading. And then there is the human cost. Behind the gilded trimmings, this resort supports thousands of workers, housekeepers, dealers, bartenders, servers, maintenance staff, many of them relying on stable shifts, tips, and repeat guests. When guests do not come back, those shifts are cut, amenities stripped, experience diluted. One longtime valet explained how his section used to turn over every 10 minutes on weekends. Recently, he said it felt like slow motion, 3-hour queues, fewer patrons in premium vehicles. It may not make headlines, but for the employees and locals who built their livelihoods around Mandalay Bay's success, the ripple is real.